Okay, so you remember Rob's grounding technique?
White light, cord going down 33 meters.
Essentially, yes, and afterward?
I forget.
Alright, well, I'll walk you through it, and I'm going to go into some of the details of why it is what it is, because that's something that has actually not been expressed. Um, so, of course, first you go ahead and you relax and you let your muscles, just turn to jello. The basic idea with that, it's not an essential step, but it's certainly a useful one, especially if you want to go into a really deep trance with your body. Um, you just go ahead and relax your muscles, and you go ahead and just keep breathing in and out, and just whatever works. You can start at your toes and just let them go limp, completely relax them, and go up to your knees, and then your whole legs, and your fingers, and your arms, and then your torso, and all the way up to your neck, and just completely relax, and close your eyes, and keep that breathing circuit going.
I've moved to my bed more. So loosen.
All right, and you just keep the old breathing circuit going, non-stop. Deep breaths in and out. I'll go ahead and play the music as we go through this. And as you keep that breathing circuit going and you let the relaxation sink in even more deeply, and you reach out to creation in the form of letting in all that white light. What that is that's accepting all things. That's integrating love for all things and yourself, and being loved by all things together, completely becoming one with all things, bringing all that white light in, letting it seep into your body and saturate it as you breathe in and out, and in and out. Do that for maybe about 10 breaths or so, whatever suits your consciousness, till you feel bright white. And once fully saturated, you feel your root chakra, and you go ahead and let those roots extend into the earth, thus connecting to the earth and letting go of all that red energy from that root chakra. Let it go into the roots and into the earth. Let it become the earth's energy to express in itself. In the oneness of you and the earth can take the energy and express it, thus causing you to no longer need to express it within your own self. A way of acceptance of it and relief of it. All the burdens, all the worries, all the stripes, all the scars, all of it. Just keep letting go of more red energy with each exhale. You breathe in and you breathe out. And as you keep breathing out, eventually all the red energy is gone. All the burdens have been let go for the earth to use them in its way. And once all that's gone, then you start breathing in through the roots the gold energy of the earth, that warm, that nurturing energy. It's neutral. You keep breathing that in until you're saturated with that earth energy. The energy of the earth collective. And in that way, the earth is that warm, lively energy. It's nurturing and yet it's warm, very accepting.
Yeah.
And you feel that neutral. And that way, you've grounded to creation with the white energy. You've grounded to earth with the gold. And that way, you have that neutrality and unconditional love and the acceptance of the earth in all of its facets and all that it is. And once you feel that relaxation, now you can go ahead and let yourself go and let whoever wants to express themselves in a neutral medium.
Sekretariat Porokoshan Eleserikayana. Iliserei Karinaya Katerasana Fasarinaya Katayana Regayara Sanana Kataran Parayanaya Tadasanarika Krishanaya Yamparayana Karanasa Yamparayana Nahira Kasa Yanasaya Karanaya Karasana Karin Sari Miri Satamir Yes. Uh, um, I am Bazaha.
Bazaham.
Bazaha.
Bazaham.
Ends in an A.
Ends in A. Bazaham.
Bazaha. Period.
Bazaha.
Yes.
Ah, well, welcome. What brings you here? What can I do for you?
There are the many facets of creation and the many facets at which I connect this conduit into you and to everybody else. I come out of curiosity.
There are too many facets of creation. There are, I got.
Out of the many facets of creation.
Okay. You're curious about the different facets of creation?
I'm curious about what's going on here.
Aye. Well, wow. Where would I begin with that? Because it's a lot. Um, Over here within the consciousness that is mine, there's a lot of growth, a lot of development, a lot of letting go of trauma, a lot of, trying to integrate the oneness that Treb and Ardif know, and having, going from what I was, coming into this life to what I'm wanting to be is a huge energetic change. And that means,
Yes.
yeah, and that means there are quite a lot of different facets for me to shift within myself. And then, of course, the reality that is the Earth Collective that I live, is, me shifting. And so a lot of things are happening here within the Earth Collective that parallel or are expressive of my own shifting. And so it's being a very difficult journey for us as a whole body of consciousness, for my own individual human expression, as well as the whole of the Earth Collective. A lot of them are going through a lot of difficulty to, reach a collective state of oneness. So that's, I guess that's the short version of what's going on here. There's a lot to it. I invite you to go ahead and reach out to the whole of the Earth Collective to the best of your ability to connect to the rest of it. Um, you know,
Yes.
the Earth itself and our Bigfoot friends in the race.
Kaya,
Yes,
Saskai, Sorianus.
yes, yes, yes. Those are, as I'm aware, those are the major ones that exist. I do believe
Then
there's
there's Fari,
yes, there is them as well, and I believe there are a few others. Um, although which ones?
Kanki have left.
Yeah, the Conki, they are. They're still with us in consciousness in a few facets, but they've long since moved on to the seventh density. Um, I'm actually curious about, what density they're at now. If they've moved on to the eighth density, but in any case,
7.3
7.3.
to 7.5
It's
or 7.8. It's a range.
yes,
They're
yes,
not quite stellar. There are outliers that are stellar,
indeed,
like in Van, in terms of the development of the Yoshigori.
yes, yeah. To the point of the eighth density expression. That's an interesting thought. The idea of the Conky evolving into eighth density and then having an expression that is a star somewhere in the galaxy. It's a fascinating thought. Um, I wonder if that star would be here or if it would be on the other side of the
Four
galaxy.
of them are in IC 1101.
More of them are what?
Four of them.
All of them.
Four,
Four of them.
cuatro.
Yes, four of them.
IC 1101.
I see. Ah, I see. Indeed. Well, I plan to go pay a visit to IC 1101 down the road, so perhaps I'll run it.
It's the biggest galaxy, 60 times more massive than the Milky Way,
I
if
know,
that's right.
but even of course, with the heart and all of that, the big galaxy becomes a small one. You can find
It's only small in comparison to the larger consciousnesses of multiverse collectives.
indeed, yes. There's all that here on Earth, and all the different things coming to fruition within this area of consciousness we call the House of Tat. Um, and well, good night, Violin Girl Blue. It was great having you here. Um, and yeah, it's been a journey. A lot of consciousness has been coming together over here, and we've been learning and integrating, this journey here. And in that way, it's been a little part of me in my process of integrating oneness and the respective processes of the individuals here with whatever goals they have to achieve within their own selves, whatever they decide to have those within their own establishment within the lower fractal consciousness. Um, there is a common desire shared, in all of us, but the actual mental expression might vary a bit. As I connect more, as we connect to each other more, we'll understand each other more and understand what each is doing and be able to facilitate each other more with that. From what part of the galaxy do you come?
Medaluncar.
The what?
Middle Umkarian period, Lyran history.
The Middle Umkarian period in Lyran history. Aye. Well.
Here's the telepathic data with respect to the timeline roughly.
Well, thank you. My own mental structure is not able to render a lot of that with great clarity, but it's enough to where as I evolve and learn myself, I will eventually be able to know what to do with this. Or I,
Would you like a pictographic version?
I wouldn't be surprised if some of the people who watch this will. I personally will go ahead and challenge my own self to. I think I can go ahead and get some help from other folks as I explore, and they'll be able to go ahead and render for me, or I'll grow.
Haley Overset could use AI art to render, but she'd have to have a description of the events to make pictures and then put them in an order.
Middle, aye, Middle Umkarian period. Well, we have enough records in the meeting itself to where I think we could probably piece a lot of it together. But yes, if you want to go ahead and do a pictographic thing, um, if you have the means to do that, I think some of the folks who convene here might enjoy that.
We shall connect the data to Angela, and Angela can send it to Haley as best as is most suitable. And hopefully Haley would receive the information.
And very well. And there will be that. Alright. Do you have music over there?
We are the music.
Ah.
Every molecular beat and vibration and oscillation is music.
Indeed it is. Aradif knows that particularly well himself with the way he lives. He really can kind of have that be.
We're very near density.
Ah, now that explains a lot.
Have you seen dolphin people?
Have I seen dolphin people?
Yes.
No, I haven't. But let me go tour my consciousness and see what signatures are there.
Okay.
It's interesting. I almost immediately, I do feel a sense of
Bashkarai is the
Ashkar.
dolphin person collective, or a representative of it. The founder, actually,
Ah,
in the early Umkarian period.
hmm. Yeah, because there's right as I played that one tune, in the F sharp five, that that lit up the consciousness.
Sarakthandiri Hisiya Kayadar Narakarayan Ayalakatyarin Nikitayana Karona no Kayan Hakerik Sayakta Nekerik Tarilakana Naik Itis Narata. Athena Maritaya Keterayana.
It's funny because you're deep within the Umkarian history connected to Lyra, knowing the structure of consciousness and all the different parallels. I cannot help but
Yes,
wonder what the facets of consciousness that Omni is very close to in the form of Chica and her family and the people connected to her, what they're exploring. Um,
3 sisters. Shika has 3 sisters.
3 sisters. Aye.
Vikia, the oldest, Sania, then herself, and then Lamiri is the younger sister who acts like everything's a party still.
I wonder what would cause her to stop. Because it seems like if it's normal for them to stop, I wonder why. Because there's some people. It almost seems to me like if you're always acting like it's a party, only if it does not happen to harmonize with the other people would there be really a reason to stop. I suppose the Sasani, in a way, I wouldn't say they're exactly party animals, but they're quite a bit upbeat over there. Um, and so it's definitely something that makes me wonder. Perhaps, well, we'll let that be. I want to go ahead and
The
be.
rebellious party type versus the casual party goer.
Aye.
That is what we talk about.
as So as you come through, as we feel you from the Umkarian history, I'm curious about paralleling explorations of history and connection by uh, the Lyrans of Shika's time, and what themes are being explored, related to you, forming a triad of
A
conscious.
lot less hardship, a lot more freedom with her time, a lot less hectic. There are still intergalactic and interstellar relations, but it's not quite, connected to what it was.
Oh dear. Well, that explains it. I was wondering. Usually, when someone ends up not being a party animal anymore, that means there's a bummer around. And when there's
Well, remember, if you party too hard, you crash. If you go too much into a certain type of availability of recklessness, you lose yourself. Like with your parties, we see that you human people get drunk and you lose your awareness
yeah,
and it just goes downhill and down the toilet. And
the same
this
goes.
is the reckless teenager archetype, if you will, which is what Lemiri acts like. She's not that much older than a teenager, if you know what we mean.
Yes.
Shika's more like chill college-aged person who like acts kind of like a big sister to people like the Yael, Gael, and the entities related to them. but also to other races as well, which is why she kind of acts a bit like an ambassador of her race to other races, but also like a healer, like Shahendra.
Indeed, yes. With it is true. My race, you party too much fun to where you start taking consciousness away from things that are due
Yes,
consciousness. Yes, things can happen.
this this is why the other people kind of eat the pizza and go kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's more a social gathering than it is being reckless and throwing off the chains of rationality, if you will.
yes, because the Sasani, they might be all fun and games, but they don't. They know when it's too much. They've tempered it, if you will. So that way, they're party animals, but they're not.
They're still young.
They are. They are. Um, and well, it's interesting because they're very near to integrating into oneness. Somehow, I don't get the impression that they're going to lose their sense of humor, or that they're going to become much less playful as time goes on. I feel
They'll
like it's
become more playful. The only time you lose playfulness is when you've been in 10th to 12th density for so long you forgot what it was like to be in the lower, more chaotic, separated densities and less in the bland, orderly, same densities.
yes, yes, and but the other facet to that though is the guys who, in the party, if you do it well balanced, then you don't have that thing that's going to cause the party to come crashing down because you're not harmonizing with a part of yourself. If you can
Yes,
remain in
this is
harmony.
what gets you out of the rebellious teen phase.
Yes, but if you stay harmonious with all things as you party, then it's not getting out of control, and but
No,
it's still joyous to where they do their thing, and then all things that are due respect are granted the respect which is their due, and in the process, the party can go on and the playfulness can continue, and there's nothing to spoil it. So that's why I see
this is
this.
understood.
Yes, and this is exactly, all this
Mhm.
very well. I'm preaching to the choir, but that's all right.
Requires your consciousness field.
Indeed.
Anything else?
Not as far as I'm aware, other than my own love for you and your race and the history and the interconnectedness, and as a part of me. It's always great meeting new folks, getting to share with new folks. So thank you for this co-creation, and we thank you for helping us to see new parts of our own self that we hadn't seen before, and for your own growth in our connection. It's been a wonderful experience.
And this we reciprocate the appreciation.
Yes.
Although the connection was not quite a trance state, it was still a good connection.
Yeah, a lot of what I wanted to go ahead and I iterated the neutralization process before here before I did it. I don't remember if I recorded it or not, but I went through it all, and I wasn't able to iterate as much as I iterated at that time. Um, but all the facets of myself were aligned very well. I integrate into oneness in all moments, and in co-creation with other people, I could have the same level of alignment and the same level of expression. It will just be a bit more of mastery of myself before I have that fully integrated.
Yes.
Is there anybody else who wants to step forth? That is, if you're ready to bid us adieu. If not, if there's anything else I can do for you, I'd love to do so.
Nobody else wishes to come through at this time in this moment. They might come through at later times through other circumstances.
Indeed. Well, in that case, then that would be a wrap for now. It was a great joy, the whole co-creation.
Namaste.
Namaste, my friend. How was that?
Still felt like conscious channeling. It was just a bit more like the words came out, but I couldn't stop them from coming out, kind of a thing.
So it looks like you got about halfway there. Something like that.
I got about as far as like a Bashar channeling through Daryl, kind of a thing. Semi trance.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll, yeah, that's, just, when I went,
Like, yeah, I was like thinking, like I get like be talking, then moving my arms around, and then I'd be thinking of a question while I'm still talking, and it doesn't stop talking.
that's really interesting. That's different. Yeah, with my, back when in the expression before we actually met, where, was more a co-creation between you and I and consciousness, or between a version of you and I and consciousness, there's the idea of, going through the idea of going into a trance, with the relaxation. And as I iterated, the neutralization process, I broke into detail what each part actually was for in a much, much more in depth way. But also, the detail that I broke it into was very well tuned to the actual neutralization process and the mood of it. Recognizing the integration of love into thyself, acceptance of all things. And that's what, bringing all the white energy in is. You accept all of creation as your own self. And in that way, it's all a part of you to express itself. And then you go ahead and you let go of the unalignments with your higher fractal consciousness. You let go of the worries, you let go of the stripes, and let those express themselves in the earth instead of in yourself. And the earth can use them to um, renew the landscape. And, it goes through the hardship and lets go, expressing itself in weather and volcanoes and all of that. And though it creates destruction, though there's the hardship and it's the reflection and expression of the hardship, it also lays the foundation for life to come back stronger. Um,
Hmm.
and so then, you let the earth have all the red energy. You let it go from you and no longer hold on to it. And then when you take in the gold energy is that of the whole earth collective. It's that of, you know, it's unconditional love and lovingness.
Now I just forgot what Bazaha even said, besides the stars and ICU 1101.
The
The,
recording,
the one side effect of trance channeling is forgetting what you said.
yes, or basically never even knowing it if you go all the way in. But the camera didn't forget, so you can go over it. And those names, I think you're going to get a kick out of those, connecting to Sheikah's sisters.
Oh,
Uh,
I remember the sisters' names
ah, that's only fitting.
because she showed them to me before. That was
I,
before Kawana showed me her boy and Solis showed me her little girl,
hmm,
which is like the size of like 18 inches.
ah, but yes. So there's from there, you bring in the gold energy. It's accepting the Earth collective and the Earth's own acceptance of itself. Um, and it's a warm, a lively energy. In fact, the energy of Thanksgiving is very close to the Earth energy itself in a lot of ways. Um, and so, and that's why it expresses itself in that gold energy.
It
Uh,
would explain the timing of when Sheikah first appeared in the Yumkar dream, like 2017, 6 years ago.
6 years ago. How about that? The way time goes by. So then you integrate all of that, and that's that neutral energy, the acceptance of all that is the Earth, the Earth's own acceptance, and all that. And Armani talks about quest for the Holy Grail in my previous incarnation, and yet here I feel like I found it, and it was from the Earth
You were
itself.
Arthur.
That's an interesting thing. Um, But at the end of when I shared in consciousness the neutralization, one of the things as I brought in the gold energy for myself, it expressed itself in the form of a golden wine glass. Um, and so that was kind of cool. And so I left an avatar of it over in, um, it's not the main archives at Tat City, but there's a place where I have all kinds of little.
There's now a university at Tat City.
Oh, well, well, well. That'll be interesting to work with. Apparently, the connection and excitement from the beings there, let that come to fruition. But then, of course, my own expansion must parallel that, and it'll be interesting to see that.
Well, once you go there, you can be a professor at Tat City University.
Yeah, well, maybe in the very loose way I will be, but I know I plan to explore space in large part, and I'll be stopping by there all the time. But eventually, I think I'll retire there and enjoy all the things the beings do and all that. So, but there you go. That's that neutralization process, broken into detail and well, maybe after the fact. Um, but you go really deep into that, and as you do the meditation with the movement of the energies, another thing that you can do simultaneously with that is do the actual mental work. Instead of deactivating the mind, you can actually keep the mind active. And as you bring in the white energy, paralleling that, you can learn to actually accept all things by letting go of unacceptance of certain things. And then, right upon, the accepting that and bringing the white energy in and integrating that into your mental structure, then, when you let go of the red energy, you can actually see the different things, the different thoughts in yourself and let them go in a manual way. And better yet, perhaps even resolve them once and for all, as you do that. And then when you bring and connect to the earth energy, you can connect to the earth collective in the more mental capacity and what it is. And in that way, accept everybody for who they are. And then, with everything that you've learned, you could see the grander scope of the earth collective and what's going on here. And in that way, have the wisdom to accept it for what it is. And you grow from there, recognizing that soul essence and soul experience and the idea of this being one experience among many, but also in the oneness of it with your own growth, seeing what's being gone through as part of you and recognizing what's happening and all of it, both as its own thing and as a part of you. And in that way, the gold energy will light you up brighter than ever before when you bring it in that way, as well as, by the meditative way, the symbol and the symbolism. So, so
I
there's.
think that channeling was a lot deeper than my regular conscious channeling.
Wait till you put all these pieces together and then do that, you know, that enhanced version of the neutralizing process and see what that does. Um, so it'll be here. I will go ahead and actually, I think I'm going to isolate this clip from the rest of the meeting and make it a standalone thing for you to work with. Uh,
Yeah,
and so that way you can work with that. If you're not aware, there's a new audio. I've moved the
9 minutes.
9 minutes on the House of Tat.
There's also a 14-minute video.
The 14-minute one, that one I do remember. So yeah, you know where they all are. So there's that. So I'll just keep the audios going. I have one to. I kind of went over things again for Mama Minga. Looks like I've got everything sorted out. I guess if you have anything you yourself want to share for the people before we bring the meeting to a close, or if you have anything else you want to do, we can go ahead and do that now. I know it's 01:31 hours, so it's getting pretty late.
There is nothing more for me to do at this point.
Well, very well then. And that's a wrap for tonight.
Yep.
Go ahead and get these.
5 hours and 58 minutes until my anniversary.
That would be 07:29 hours, yes?
Pretty much.
Okay. Oh, I think I'll be awake at that time. I guess we'll see. But maybe I'll send Chica some flowers for this. What about the morning glories? I'll go ahead and get into the morning glory vines.
She said mushrooms.
Huh?
Mushroom.
She wants mushrooms?
Yeah.
Alright, well, throw in a few Amanita muscaria, the traditional red and white mushroom, and then maybe throw in a few more exotic ones. The Mycena interrupta, Hygrocyte graminecolor, color, and whatever the amethyst deceiver is. Then we have the red with some little brilliant green mushrooms, some tiny brilliant blue mushrooms, and then some purple mushrooms. So the amethyst deceivers are that distinctive purple color. So
The ones that match your eyes.
all right. Well, you know what? I say I give them to her, but you know what? I'll let you give them to her. How does that sound?
Sent.
All right then. Well, there's that. Well, I shall bid you adieu for the moment and congratulate you on your journey and how far you've come, and everything that you've done, and everything that you've done for me as well. Um, it's immensely appreciated, and it brings a lot of joy to my heart. Um, seeing all of this and having been this heavily integrated of a part of your journey. Well, thank you.
Reciprocation is done in return.
All right. We bid you adieu for this moment.
Adieu.